welcome back po. Oh, you caught me off guard then. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. Tonight at LIRA in Law. And yeah, so hopefully you're having a good Thursday evening. No, it's malamig na nga lang, no? But anyway, so without further ado, because we have so many questions, I should not really go on too much nga, because I do like saying hello. And please do say hello back nga. But I will stop saying hello and actually launch into our big topic. So, binasa ko nga kanina yung topic nga natin. Thank you very much for the viewer nga who posted that. So, ang topic po natin nga ngayon is married versus unmarried routes applications into the United Kingdom. Unang-una po, thank you very much for the question and congrats, no? You have bragging rights today, Thursday evening nga. Because it's your question is this week's star question. This means nga we'll be looking at your question in quite a lot more detail, no, and hopefully will help you navigate complex issues of in this case nga relationship application. So unang-una, let me start, no. If you're unclear about the what we're discussing out today, again, get legal advice. But in the meantime, let us unpack the question. So unang-una po, you're making an application for entry clearance visa. Kung marinig yung phrase entry clearance visa, ibig po sabihin, making an application from abroad, Philippines for example nga, coming into the United Kingdom, entry clearance visa ang usually tawag. So if you have solicitors, sabi nila, you're making an application for entry clearance visa or entry visa or leave to enter the United Kingdom. It's all the same. It means you're making an application from abroad coming into the United Kingdom. So you then say meron kang girlfriend and she's in the United Kingdom and you want to join her in the UK and pursue a family life here. Great, no? So ang question po nga is unmarried or married visa application. Bago natin tingnan yun, okay? We need to really deal with the initial issue, the preliminary issue. So before answering now your question, tingnan muna natin what actually are the options. Because sabi mo nga doon, married or unmarried, it's a bit more actually complex than that. So there are really 4 options if you're making an application to enter the United Kingdom from abroad. Philippines, for example, anywhere really, no? If you're looking to come into the UK to join your partner in the UK. So let's go through the options, but of course we're going to look particularly at in detail at the issue of the viewer's question, which is unmarried or married route nga, no? So unang-una po, you can apply to enter the United Kingdom you can apply for a marriage visit visa. Now, the hint there is in the phrase, no? Marriage visit visa. Ibig po sabihin, application nyo essentially is a visitor visa. It's a tourist visa. So alam niyo naman, bawal kayo magtrabaho dito, hindi kayo pwede mag-aral nga dito, but you are coming into the United Kingdom simply to marry, and that's allowed. No? It's one of the categories under the visitor visa route. Now, some people, they want to enter the UK nga to simply marry, and then lalabas nga sila, babalik sila sa atin o saan man, and then they're making an application, say, to come back into the United Kingdom nga as a spouse. So it just allows you to marry. Now, it suits some people nga, especially kung nandito pamilya ng partner nyo, gusto nyo, they want to attend the wedding, and it's better for you to come into the UK, maybe even with family, and dito nga kayo kakasal, tapos babalik ka. Now, so that's one option, and we'll deal with that a little bit more nga. Second option po, fiancé application. So ibig sabihin, fiancé application, papasok nga kayo dito to marry in the United Kingdom, pero hindi nyo kailangang bumalik sa atin, for example, to then swap that fiancé application to that of a spouse. So it's a visa to enter the United Kingdom to marry also. It's slightly similar to the visit visa application. But with the differences are actually also quite a few. So pag-usapan din nga natin yun. Pangatlo po, unmarried partner application. That was not always there, but it's been established certainly for a few years now, unmarried partner application. Now, hindi nga lang yung basta-basta. Meron akong mga kliyente, akala nila, kung meron kayong relationship nga sa Pilipinas, you can simply enter the UK as an unmarried partner. Hindi po yun. Okay? So there's quite a bit more to it than that. So again, we're going to look at that a little bit more. Or, of course, the fourth possibility is marriage, married or spouse application. It's so obviously it means that kinasal kayo sa atin, for example, or anywhere really, but ibig sabihin kasal kayo bago kayo papasok nga dito. So let's have a look at those four options. So una nga, marriage visit visa. It allows you to marry in the United Kingdom. Pero ang putatin pong malaman nyo, hindi kayo pwedeng magpasok nga ng application as a spouse dito. So, kumuha kayong visa application, ibig sabihin, sinasabi nyo sa home office, kakasal nga lang kayo dito, babalik kayo sa atin. Doon kayo magpapasok ng application as a spouse. The conditions are very similar to a visitor visa. So, kailangan ipakita pagka nandito kayo na meron kayong titiran, nasa patang pera niya, pera mo, and that really you're only entering the United Kingdom to marry and you're going to go back. If they think that you're entering the United Kingdom, and to marry, hindi na kayo lalabas, hindi ka na lalabas making an application here, your application will be refused. So be careful. So for our viewer, this is probably not really what you want, okay? But it's a possibility. Second possibility is a fiancé application. Now, that means marrying in the United Kingdom. Main difference between that and a marriage visa application is hindi nyo na kailangan bumalik sa atin. Papasok kayo sa fiancé, and then in the United Kingdom, you can then pursue an application to change and extend your visa as a spouse. Of course, pagkakasal na nga kayo. The conditions are very similar nga to a spouse or indeed an unmarried partner in terms of income, English language, mga ganon. So titignan nga natin yung mga conditions together with the conditions na required for unmarried and indeed spouse visa applications. When beware po and actually going back to the viewer's question, yung sinasabi nga niya pagka nandito na siya 6 months nga lang tapos hindi siya pwedeng magtrabaho. Although ang reference po doon unmarried visa, actually that is more appropriately described as the fiancé visa. Okay? So yun ibig sabihin. So ibig pong sabihin, nandito kayo, fiancé visa, hindi kayo pwedeng magtrabaho. Kahit kasal na kayo, kahit nagpasok na kayong application nga as a spouse visa, hindi pa rin kayo pwedeng magtrabaho. Mabibigyan nga lang kayong permiso pagka napalitan na yung visa, nakuha nyo ng spouse visa, but not before that. If you work before that, you are in breach of your immigration conditions. So beware, bawal po magtrabaho. Hindi nga lang basta-basta. Now, unmarried partner application, and this is the thing that sometimes nga can be confusing, the difference nga between that and the married route is in fact the marriage. Definition of a partner actually changed fairly recently. But it's not as wide as you think. Dati po, in order to succeed as an unmarried partner under the unmarried partner route, you need to be able to show that you're living together in a relationship like a marriage. A minimum of 2 years bago kayo makakakuha ng visa as an unmarried partner. But that's actually changed. Hindi nyo na kailangan magsama. And I think that's to cause some confusion with some applicants nga. But although the cohabitation requirement's been removed, you still need to show that you and your partner have been in a relationship like a marriage. Sometimes they say akin to marriage, like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years. Kailangan yung ebidensya, hindi po lang basta-basta. So boyfriend, girlfriend nga lang kayo, hindi po yung pwede. Because you're not really, as boyfriend, girlfriend, your relationship is not like a marriage. So evidence can be, for example, things like kung meron kayong mga anak, hindi nga lang kayo kasal. I mean, that's best evidence. Children are best evidence of the relationship, of course. Kung nakatira kayo sa yung bahay nyo, it's jointly owned. So you do need to show or support. So remittances, for example. So you need to show that you are in a relationship like a marriage. For minimum of 2 years, those two things. And of course, kung nagsasama nga kayo dati and you can show that, then even better. Because cohabitation, of course, is a good indication nga na you have been in a relationship like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years. The fourth option na pinag-usapan nga natin is the marriage spouse application nga. If you're making an application under that, you do not need to show the 2 years living together because you're already married. So, for the viewer nga, so kung uuwi yung girlfriend mo, magpapakasal kayo doon, sabihin natin, kasal, she's there for the honeymoon, and she's there maybe for a little bit longer, like a longer holiday, that's fine, no? You don't need to be living together, minimum of 2 years. Kasal na kayo, you made the legal commitment. Now, so for the viewer, ang question nga niya, ano mas maganda, no? Do you make an application under the fiancé application nga? So ibig sabihin do you make an under that, and ibig sabihin dito ka, papasok ka dito sa fiancé, magpapakasal nga kayo dito mo papalitan ng visa mo to that of a spouse. O mas maganda ba kung uuwi yung girlfriend mo sa atin, sa Pilipinas, and then you kasal na nga kayo, make an application for a marriage visa nga. Now, I will definitely deal with that specific issue. But before that, tingnan muna natin, what are the conditions mo na kailangan yung pakita? So, the conditions for unmarried partner, married, no, spouse nga, and indeed the fiancé application are much the same. Slight variations, important variations, of course, but the conditions are, for example, the yung sponsor nyo, no, should be British or Irish or have settled status in the United Kingdom. Okay, for example, indefinite leave to remain. Income niya, no, sweldo niya, no less than £29,000. Regardless of any children coming. Okay, actually that's one of the questions nga kanina. £29,000 po before tax. No? Importante po yun. And beware, if you're self-employed or you're in you own a company, the evidence that you need to show are slightly different. No? From say if you are employed. I think last week pinag-usapan nga natin, one of the questions was category A, category B, and there are I think 6 or 7 types of categories for income, for evidencing your income nga. Now, on top of that, of course, accommodation. When pagka sinasabi nila financial requirements, it's 2 limbs, no? So there's the income, which now is £29,000 nga, rather than £18,600 from before. But also, don't forget the second limb, which is, of course, accommodation. Kailangan meron siyang titirhan pagka nandito na kayo, no? Nandito ka na. So it doesn't have to be a property that you own. It could be property that your partner is renting nga, o kaya it could be na it's owned by sa biyanan mo, no, or would be biyanan. Okay, as long as you're allowed to live there, and it must be at least a room that's suitable for you and that's only occupied by you too. Okay, so you're on. And of course, the English language requirement, no, for fiance, for unmarried partner route, and indeed the marriage route, kailangan yung English requirement, which is the level must be a minimum of A1 po ang tawag. Okay. And hindi nga lang yung basta-basta also. Make sure that you take it from an accredited, an accredited organization. If you want to, for me to send you the link of the accredited organizations, let me know. I'm happy to do so. And of course, kung galing nga kayo sa Pilipinas, kailangan nyo din negative TB, tuberculosis certificate, basically to show wala kayong TB, so now again, not all hospitals, not all clinics can provide the certification na kailangan nila. Again, they have to be accredited. And again, kung kailangan nyo yung lista nga, no, then let me know. There are various clinics in Manila. I think there are a couple nga in Manila. I think there's one in Davao and Cebu, and I can't remember. There are a few, not enough, from my point of view, but I think there are either 4 or even 4 or 6 now. There were less than before, but at least now there are about 6. So hopefully you book the one that's nearest nga to you. Now, question mo. Our viewer that asked nga and was and it's our star question. Question mo nga is, what would be better? No? Now, tingnan natin. No? Let's unpack your question. So you call your beloved girlfriend. Okay? So you may not actually have been living together the minimum of 2 years. No? Although sabi mo nga, you're submitting an unmarried application. Ingat ka because don't get the two mixed up because the two are different types of applications. You mentioned also 6 months nga, so you're probably looking at the fiancé route, hindi yung unmarried partner route. But I mean, let's look at what your question is. No, ano ba mas maganda? So fiancé application o kaya the married, doon nga kayo kakasal, no? So let's have a look. Nga sabi ko, the conditions are much the same. And tama ka, pagka pumunta ka dito as a fiancé, ang bisang bibigay nga sa'yo 6 months nga lang, hindi ka pwedeng magtrabaho. Okay? Kailangan mong palitan yung fiancé application mo pagkakasal na kayo, of course, no? And subject to continuing to satisfy the other conditions nga. Pagka nakakuha ka ng spouse visa, tama ka nga, nung ka lang pwedeng magtrabaho. Okay? Now, what would be better? So these are the things nga that I discuss with my clients when they ask me this question, okay? Travel costs, pamasahe. Okay? Dahil ang layo ng Pilipinas, at mahal ng pamasahe. Especially nga ngayon, no, Christmas time. I was, one of my clients, sabi nga siya sa akin, they paid 1,500, no? Fare. But okay, it was Christmas. You know? And it's returned nga to the Philippines. But I was shocked. I thought, wow, that's no. But so travel cost. Now you're coming to the UK anyway, right? Either as a fiance or a spouse. So it's not that you have to pay one fare para sa'yo, okay? Pero yung girlfriend mo, kung kailangan niyang magbiyahe sa Pilipinas, magpakasal para ikasal nga kayo, of course that would mean one extra plane ticket. Okay? So there's, if you like, one additional airline ticket nga if you're making an application under the married route, the spousal route rather than the fiancé. Because of course, pagka nandito ka na, you make an application for a fiancé, hindi ka na babalik sa atin, and you make an application as soon as you're married nga for a spouse visa. So there's the airfare. So that is a plus, if you like, for the fiancé application. But yung nga, you can't work until you get a spouse visa. Okay? Importante po yun. Bawal nga, no? Where spouse visa applicants, or if you've been granted nga that, they can work as soon as they arrive in the UK. Now, against that though, home office fee. Okay? You have one extra process if you are coming into the UK una as a fiancé. No? So you're effectively paying for two processes, for two applications. Kailangan fiancé, tapos pangalawa, marriage. No? The fiancé application, and indeed the spouse application po sa home office or out-country applications nga, presently stands at £1,846. It's quite a bit. No? But if you apply for a spouse visa, you pay this again, no? Plus the IHS fee. IHS is Immigration Health Surcharge. Immigration Health Surcharge is the fee that you pay as your contribution to the National Health Service, the NHS. Nga. So that can be quite a bit. That if you're making an application for spouse. So kung papasok ka dito as a fiancé, dito nga kayo ikakasal, ibig sabihin magbabayad ka ng fee as a fiancé. There's no IHS, by the way, for fiancé nga, because the visa is only going to be 6 months. No? That's the reason for it. Pero kailangan mong magpasok uli ng application pagka nandito ka na, no? Pagkakasal na nga kayo. So ibig pong sabihin, spouse visa application, £1,846 plus the IHS fee, because then papalitan mo na yung visa mo to that of a spouse. And the IHS fee is £2,887.50. So that's quite a bit actually, or 2,500 actually. I think it's £2,587. I'll check that. But anyway, it's over £2,500. Okay, for the IHS nga lang. So it's quite a bit. So against the fiancé application nga is the home office fee, because you effectively pay a home office fee twice, which is, as I say, is 1,846 pounds. Now, um, now, however, you can say, well, okay, no, 1,846 pounds, maybe, yun ang pamasahe. So maybe financially kind of plus minus, no? It's maybe that's not really what sways you to go either way. And of course, nga, the issue of employment in the UK, fiancés can't work, spouses can. No? So that may be more persuasive to you kung kailangan mo magtrabaho, gusto mo magtrabaho as soon as you land in the UK, then you really what you want is a spouse visa, probably more than a fiancé visa. But let's say the issue of money may not be the predominant thing. Sa akin, yung abogado nyo, when they're giving you advice, you're quite entitled, and you should ask, no, which is potentially the stronger application. Now, 90% of the time, ang payo ko, the spouse application is the stronger application of the two. Because of the mere fact that you are then married. No? Once you are married, and then it's for the Home Office to show that the relationship is not in fact genuine, no? Because you have made the legal commitment, if you like, no, to be married, and you have married. So so hindi nyo kailangan pakita no you were living together, or that or minimum of 2 years nga, because you are already married. And as a fiance, as I say, you're simply looking also to marry in the United Kingdom. So between the two, 90% of the time, I say actually the spouse application is a stronger application. But for many people, no, they want to apply for as a fiancé instead of a spouse application. For example, and sometimes there's no choice, no. For example, if your relationship is under the same-sex relationship, no. So ibig sabihin nga, you can't marry in the UK, in the Philippines, but in the UK you can. So if it's a same-sex relationship nga, ibig mo sabihin, you can't marry in the Philippines, and actually quite a few countries also. But in the UK you can. No? So kung yung situation nyo, then you may not have actually a choice but to enter the United Kingdom either as a fiancé, o kung nagsasama nga kayong 2 taon plus, no? Then it could be that you then making an application nga as an unmarried partner, no? So it's it very much depends, as I say, on situation nyo. But for our viewer who very, very kindly provided us with the question, which is our star question for tonight, kung ako ikaw, knowing very little about your circumstances nga, if there's a choice, you probably want, I would say, between fiancé application nga, or married application, uuwi nga yung girlfriend mo sa atin, doon kayo nga ikakasal, I would probably be leaning, no, towards a marriage application rather than a fiancé application, for the reasons that I've set out. So, but look, as I say, kung if you're concerned and you think, oh, okay, no, maybe that's not something really you want to do, and sometimes it's also kind of useful, no, to have a fiancé application rather than a marriage application, because hindi pa nga kayo kasal, nandito kayo. And actually, that's another thing. Some of my clients nga, gusto mo na lang tignan, subukan nga, no? Pagka nandito na nga yung partner nila, magkakasunduan ba nga sila, o kaya, or not, no? Because of course, kung kasal na kayo sa atin, then it could be that then you're stuck with the marriage. And as you know, there's no divorce in the Philippines also. So that can bring about quite a few, if you like, legal consequences aside from the issue of immigration. So both types of applications have their advantages and indeed disadvantages. But if you're only looking at, if you made a commitment, you're very certain yung gusto nyong gawin, if you're looking at practicalities, and also, as I say, which includes cost, of course, and which is potentially the stronger application, then I would be saying to you, look seriously, perhaps look seriously at the marriage route rather than perhaps the fiancé route. No, so that was a great question. I'm always astonished by the quality of our questions nga. Hindi in that's our star question. We have more, no? It's and so salamat po, no? It's we have other questions now, as I say, and they are very interesting because they deal with family law. They deal certainly with immigration law, and immigration and family law together, no? And actually employment law also. We're getting topics from legal topics from all, you know, all types nga, no? From many viewers, no, who are either here, o kaya pasok pa nga lang sila, o kaya meron silang kaibigan na inaapi sa trabaho, o yung tax nyo nga, no? So it's great. I mean, that's all coming, no? That's all coming. But in the meantime po, magbatian muna tayo. So it's the lovely people who've sent hello, no, have messages.